Hi, so this is the third part of the UI series, that is how to customize your UI for World of Warcraft, group PvE, most especially raiding. If you've missed the first two parts, they were on how to make space on your UI and how to use boss mods. I've put a link below to the playlist where you can find not only those, but a couple of other videos related to Raidcraft as well. At the end of the video, I'll provide a link, and there's a link in the comments below to my website where you could also find further information. Now in this third part, we're going to be having a look at notifications, how to set up your UI to tell you important things in a place where you would naturally be looking. Okay, so there's different types of notification we want, and there are different programs we can use to show them. I prefer to use Tell Me When, and these are all my notifications showing here. Some of them are not relevant to the fights I currently do at the moment. They're just old and I haven't got rid of them yet. Some people use WeChorus too. That is more flexible. You can do more things with it, but it takes learning how to do it. Don't know how really complicated it is, because I found I can do everything I need to do on Tell Me When, and the rare occasions where WeChorus 2 are better, someone else, some clever clogs in your guild usually does it, or you can get it on a forum and you just paste it in and import it into your own WeChorus 2. Now notice how I've got them grouped up. I've got them around the part of the screen where I'll be looking. Obviously in a fight to see all this lot would be horrendous, but you don't see all this lot. Only a few of them are going to be active at any one time, and the ones that are going to be active for more often I have smaller as well, because I don't need big things. The big ones like this are usually warnings that I need to do, like these ones would be really in your way. All of these ones are warnings about something. That I have to do something really urgently that supplements the boss mods if perhaps boss mods were not warning me enough. Now I'm not going to show you how to use Tell Me When in this video. I have done a video where I show you how I set some of these up, and I will put a link just there. You can click on that and watch that later if you like. But I'm just going to show you first of all for trinkets. Now there's different types of trinket. There's trinkets where when you use an ability it stacks up, like this one here, which I'm going to show you first of all. Get rid of that. This is for my class trinket. When I use a particular ability, Crusader Strike in this case, it provides a stack, and it stacks up to 3 times and has a duration. So we can see there as 1 stack, and it's showing the duration counting down. Use it again, back up, 2 stacks, and then 3 stacks. And you can see it's gone from transparent to opaque. I've set it up to do that because opaque is good in my mind. You might do it the other way around. You might have it visible, you need to do something, and then have it opaque when it's happy. And I can see the countdown, so I know if my rotation doesn't naturally have me using Crusader Strike, that as it starts to count down there, I can start to hit that. I could also give it an audio notation as well to warn me when the duration got below a certain point, but I did do that and find myself not really needed that anymore now. Okay, so that's the first type of trinket proc to showing a notification. Okay, the next type of trinket to go through is the RPPM trinket, the random proc per minute trinket. These are ones that give you some buff. Usually it will work on the pull as long as you've been out of combat for a little while, and then some random times later on. Not reliable. Now, there's been a bit of a storm at the moment on that one, because Blizzard have said they don't even want it to be reliably procking on the pull either. But I'm not going to tell you what I think about that just here. So this is this trinket I've got here, and this is the symbol to show here. I'm hoping that it will proc straight now, because I haven't been out of combat for that long, because I've just done a trinket. So we'll just wait around for it to pop up. I'll show you some of the other things that I have notifications for while I'm waiting. Down here I have certain cooldowns. So Execution Sentence is an ability that has a 1 minute cooldown, so I don't have it in my normal rotation here, but I need to know when it's available. My ring, the legendary ring, I need to know when that is, and again I've got something showing me the duration down here. This is a time which means do my maximum DPS, and because as soon as I know that that counts down below 1, it's going to blow up, so I need to have done as much damage as I can in the meantime. Here is my main cooldown, Avenging Wrath, which means I do more damage at that point. This is a cooldown I can use on others. I can't really show you that at the moment. because I need a friendly target for that. Here is my frequent use damage reduction, and here is my invulnerability, which also shows this. This is showing me how much time I've got left of being invulnerable. And as soon as that wears off, whatever fire I'm stood in, I'd better not be stood in it anymore. Other things I've notified, which seal I'm in. I had a bit of an accident on Margoth, being in the wrong seal. So if I change seal, I can show that there. Oh, it's there, it's procs now. Our PPM at last is procs. So again, I can track the duration that it's got to run down. This also stacks up, so I can also track the stacks as well. Okay. With some events, you want to have a really clear notification of what's going on. Boss mods are usually pretty good for that, but sometimes, let's say, for whatever reason you're ignoring the boss mod or it's not clear enough. There we go, there's an important thing. You can see in the middle of the screen there is my own tell me when, and just to the left of it, if I go back to that again, is a weak aura that someone made just to the left as well, showing the suitability of weak auras. And again, it's really important this thing is right in your face. If you're fine with it not being in your face, then that's fine. But sometimes I say, because it's something that can wipe the fight. This is like a momentous event. If you cock it up, you can wipe the fight. So just put a really important notification there. Then it means when you get it, you're really clear about it. There's even a little message there on the weak or on that particular one saying don't be eaten, go fiend. Not that there's much I can do about it on the outside, but on heroic and normal, you have to get yourself out, of course. Now, one thing that weak auras too is really good for is assigning marks to people when they get certain things. So if like multiple people all get an event, but you need to move to different places. So Fellord and Archimond, absolutely classic. There we go. So this is weak aura doing that, not tell me when. These are so commonly used though that you wouldn't necessarily have to set these up yourself. Just needs to be someone in your raid, and if there's no one in your raid can do it, and you don't want to learn, and I don't want to learn, you can find these on forums as well. But again, just make sure that if you have a weak aura that you're importing from someone else, that it's not going to like mask over the top of a notification you have set up yourself. So it is just worth checking these things out before you get into the fight when it's a bit late to do anything about it, and make sure it's not concealing any important messages that you might need at the time. It's fine if it conceals something that you don't use on those particular fights, that's no problem. And the final thing I want to talk about on this one, we're going back to these which I showed you before, is the reason to track personal cooldowns. It's not just so that you can see when they're back up, of course, if I use execution centers like that. I haven't made it go, I could just make it go away. But the important thing is I can track the duration so that I can tell when it's going to be available up again, especially if I have to line up other buffs with it. Okay. Same thing with the ring. If the ring's fired off, if I know when that gets down to like a few seconds, it's a fight where we're going to use it off cooldown, not on a particular event, but my cooldown is ready. I know not to use it just then. I know to just wait, because I know the ring is going to go off, say, in 10 seconds time, hold on to my own cooldowns for 10 seconds and make sure they all line up, because of course lining up cooldowns makes them much more powerful than they ever will be individually. Same with defensive cooldowns. If I've got a big amount of damage coming in very soon, I can decide to myself, am I going to have my cooldown ready for it or not? If not, and this is where you'd use in combination with your boss mods, if not, then you need to do something else about it. Is there anything else I can use? Or just be ready on the health pot if that's what's needed. Okay, so, and the same thing obviously there. Pretty standard one for melee is interrupt. Again, I can see what the duration of that would be. Or my stun. Again, can see the duration of that. If I'm in an interrupt rotation, there's a number of fights where the bosses can interrupt not at set intervals. And you're thinking to yourself, if you're next in the interrupt rotation, but it still hasn't counted down, you might just need to say to someone, it's not up yet, can someone cover for me? And then if it suddenly comes off cooldown, you can say it's fine. If the cast hasn't gone off, you can say it's fine now, I can take care of it. So always sort of know, and you don't want to be staring down here at the bottom of your screen. Some people don't even have these showing, they just have their notifications. I sort of keep them down there because I sometimes change macro. I have a number of these are macros rather than core abilities, because you can see some things here all look exactly the same. There's a couple of my blessings of sacrifice because they're on different macros. So yeah, make sure that important notifications are around here, which is where you should naturally be looking. If you're looking down here, you're not looking at the fire you stood in or the mobs that have just come in from the sides. And like I said in the earlier series as well, make sure that you can see everything that you need to see in a prominent place. Things that you don't have to see that often you can push off to one side or other, and things that you don't need to see at all, don't have showing at all, move them well out of the way. Like your chat down here, which is naturally where it would be anyway. Just make sure that that's not blocking your view to anything. Where you want to be able to see is around here. This is where you're focusing a lot of the time, unless you're a healer, in which case it might be wherever your raid frames are. But you also still need to look at fire. Okay, hope that was useful. If you've got any comments or any further things you'd like me to discuss, put them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my website if you want to see any further information. I usually use the website to organise my videos, because quite a lot of videos now, it can be quite hard for a new viewer to navigate them around. And if you like what you've seen, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you don't like what you've seen, don't forget to comment and say why. I do usually act on feedback if I agree. If I don't agree, don't feel bad. It just means I don't agree. Thank you very much.